Okay.
Connolly, are you going to go over the strengths? Because we need to have those, make sure we lay those out first.
This is that rubric. I want this right in front of my face here. Okay.
And those would be like the
Oh yeah, and what's our purpose sentence?
Oh yeah,
So
we need to say our
that's-
purpose. To reevaluate Jai.
Comprehensive evaluation to determine what services are needed to return Jai to his level of pre-injury academic and social function.
Bro, do you want to say that?
yeah.
Yeah, because I was
Wait, where
like,
is it? Well,
where even is that?
Should we have this child's primary disability category have all this checked off too? Because this is a re-eval, so we should know all of this part, right?
well, we can just go through it. I think she
Okay.
wants us to go through it all,
Okay.
yeah.
That's fine.
So we have this purpose very clearly mentioned.
Yeah, so,
We're determining what services are needed to return.
well, I
to
guess
his-
I can do that, because I'm the
Okay. Yeah, you're done.
And then, because I have this, so I'll just do the introduction. So
Okay.
I'll welcome everyone, intro, okay?
Okay.
And then who wants to start off with strengths?
I think we should go, probably not me first, I'll be the administrator, so
I
maybe the
can. I'll
general
go
teacher.
and I'll talk about the.
Talk about his academic strengths first.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so let
highlight
me-
the strengths first, because those are the ones we just want to talk about.
So let me ask you guys
So
this
when will I
now.
talk about, like, I want to give you guys
That's next.
Upload.
So, like,
Okay.
we're literally going to go through this. So next
Do we
is
have the
parent,
procedural safeguards? Yes. Perfect.
parent concerns and input. So we'll go over the strengths, and then we'll be like, okay,
What are your
Miss
concerns?
Gray, what are your concerns about Jaya?
Cool.
You'll say what you want to say, and then,
then we will talk about his academic achievement.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about the class teacher?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty
general-
class teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah.
So when we go to these strengths, parents, concern, input, this is all just like open discussion. When do we start doing like this stuff? Because I just don't want to be super lost when it comes
right.
to that. You
So
know what I
what
mean?
are the first few?
So we've got child's primary disability category, so that's all the check marks of all of it, his primary language, all this stuff, traumatic brain injury, which would be a yes. Then it goes progress reporting, extended school year. Then do we just start talking about these things?
Yeah.
So at what point do we start doing that?
So we'll do that right after. So we'll do all of that.
All,
at first
all of
with
these
disability,
five?
And then we'll go through the IP and be. You can just be like, okay, so now let's go through the
Talk
IP.
about
And then I'm literally gonna read like almost
Yeah.
everything. And
Yeah.
that way we don't miss anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stop me whenever.
Because then that will cover, once we get to goals and objectives, we can just make sure we get date, name, observe, math.
Okay, so you're taking notes, and then are you gonna fill it in on the IP?
I'm gonna fill it in right here on the IEP. That's why I'm gonna like go nice and slow and just like double check and make
Mhm.
sure we got it, because
Yeah.
then I think she'll like that too. So we're gonna do. I'm just going this step 2. So the preset step 2, number 6 technically would be starting to go through the IEP.
Yes.
When should we just literally go through the entire thing, or when do we start doing the align with PLEP and then the goals? Is that towards the
So
end?
goals will be in the IEP. There's going to be a section that says goals. So that will literally go right
Transition,
with it.
present levels, courses of study, transition, transfer of rights, services and modifications, least restrictive environment, state assessments, this is class, what do we got here? Passing scores, student participate with, we should go through all these tests and stuff too.
Mhm.
There's nothing about goals in here, or am I just tripping out?
I think you might be
Taking
tripping
out
out
because I did
there.
not see it. I did not, that's just my past though. It could have been right at the beginning and I just did not pay attention to it.
Measurable annual
Yep.
goals, including academic.
Sorry, bro, you totally missed
I
it.
promise I'm paying attention in class, I swear.
Don't
Uh,
have a sped major.
That was 2
What's
of
your
them.
oh
My literally right
Dr.
and
Shepard.
right hand women. Right here.
Mr.
So-
Shepard, I think we're gonna need to have a serious talk about your teaching skills at this school. We're gonna have a meeting after
There's
this.
Shepard.
Well, you know what?
Serious.
No, she's
Bailey.
Meredith Bailey.
You spelled mine with a K. I'm dead.
I don't know Grey's
No!
Anatomy either. I wanted
Oh
to
my
do The
God.
Office. I should have been Jim Halpert, but no one's listening to me.
Alright.
I'm putting that on my period though.
No wait, tartar sauce. Are we getting recorded now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we've been being recorded for a while so far.
Alright.
6 minutes.
Alright.
When you do
Steady.
introductions, say you're the note taker. Be like,
Yes.
like the
Yes.
person
I'll
who
be
did
taking
it.
notes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'm gonna identify as the FIA, DAPE, and the case manager, right? Because
Yeah.
okay, perfect.
Okay.
Ready,
You wanna
ready?
start?
Ready, steady, Eddie.
I'll
Okay.
I'll start it off.
Okay.
Okay, ready? 3, 2. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our IEP meeting regarding Jaya Gray. I'm Derek Shepard. I'm the PE teacher, the DAPE teacher, and I'll also be the case manager filling out the IEP today.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming for my son. Jaya Gray. I brought his picture with me. He's so handsome.
Oh, he's adorable.
Strapping young fellow, I see.
My name is Meredith Gray, and today we will discuss about my son's progress.
Right. Hi, everybody. I am the principal at the Seattle Grace School, and I'm here to kind of bring in some information about his testing recently and help determine what kind of services we can provide through our school.
Hi, I am Isabel Stevens. I am the special education teacher here.
Hello, I'm Christina Yang, and I'm Jaya's general education teacher.
And I also want to mention that I will be the note taker in this meeting. Thank you.
I also want to bring to attention, just so everyone knows, Miss Bailey is our principal here. She's also doubling as our district representative today as well. So everybody's aware of that. All right, so let's begin.
All right, so the purpose of this meeting is to reevaluate and determine what services are needed to return Jaya to his level of pre-injury status and social functioning. So before we begin, I just want to hand this to you. This is our procedural safeguard, so you can look over that after the meeting or when you have time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very important.
Yes, we'd also like you to know that we are very behind you in Jaya's recovery, and anything that we can do to help, we'd be more than willing to volunteer our time as well. So
Thank
anything
you
you can
so
do, just
much.
go ahead and ask.
It means a lot to me.
Perfect. All right, let's just go around the room and discuss some of the strengths we've had that we've seen Jaya both in and outside the classroom, and go from there. Let's see.
Would you like to start with some of his testing?
Sure,
results
that'd
here?
be great.
Ms. Stevens, you want to add the point on that?
I think Bailey is going to.
Oh, Miss Bailey, sorry.
Bailey.
My
All right,
apologies.
so looking back, a lot of this actually occurred before his injury. Back in 2003, he was tested in most of these exams here. And oddly enough, he was in the 88th, 84th, 98th percentile, so pretty high up on the percentile range for reading, broad reading, basic skills composite testing, and reading composite. So those skills were pretty, he's doing pretty well in those skills. A couple of the other ones that we are looking at are just like his math and written language, but it seems to be that currently his issue is with his reading, or with his spoken language. So that's kind of interesting to see. But yeah, he's doing really well with his language arts categories.
Perfect.
I would just like to also bring up that even before his accident, he was at great academic languages levels. And right now, what at least we're focusing on in my classroom is trying to get him back to those levels.
Okay.
And if at any point you seem confused or have any questions about terminology, use this meeting, just go ahead and ask us and we can stop and make sure we explain that to you nice and fully.
Thank you.
The last thing I'd like to bring up as the PE and Dave teacher here, I think that's another huge weakness of Jaya's. He doesn't seem to be affected motorly at all. His behaviors and his physical abilities are right on par with the rest of the students in class. So I would say right off the rip, I think he's going to be okay in regular general PE. I would like to say that I would like to keep an eye on him and like to ease him back into class as it goes. I know he had some stitches by his left ear. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I know he had that, and I know he may have some issues now with contact sports or anything. So you and I can communicate on a regular basis. If he feels uncomfortable in class, you can have him come talk to me, and we can just make sure that we evaluate that and keep that moving smoothly for the rest of the students as well.
Thank you.
Do you have any concerns or that you would like to address in this part of the meeting?
Yes, and I would also like to give you a little idea about the accident so everyone will be in the same page. So my son Jaya had an accident, a sledding accident 2 months ago, and he had stitches on the left side of his head and near his ear. Jaya had sustained a blow on the frontal lobe and the neck. He was unconscious for 6 minutes, and then we took him to the doctor, and then the doctor reported the frontal lobe syndrome, and they recommended Jaya needs to see a neuropathologist to determine to extend his neuropsychological difficulties. Because of this accident, Jaya started experiencing difficulty in understanding instructions and has had very low scores on group achievement and ability assessment. He is also suffering from lack of patience, low frustrations, intolerance, impulsivity that were not apparent before the injury. He wasn't like this the way he is currently now. His physical condition is stable, so I'm thinking that I want a comprehensive evaluation to determine what services are needed to return Jaya to his level of pre-injury academic and social functioning.
That is understandable.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to help you with that.
Yeah.
All right. What is our next step around here?
I think we need to discuss his academic achievement.
Okay.
Yes, because I know that's kind of been a concern in my class, at least, or some of my classes. He is doing great with his speech. We don't see any problems there, but his language, we're kind of wondering a little bit if maybe we could offer some special education services, just a little bit part of the day, because he is struggling with complex sentences. We noticed in his standardized testing, if you would maybe want to look at that.
Yeah, he fell in the 53rd percentile for verbal comprehension.
So
yeah.
during the special education teacher support, will he stay in the general ed class or will he go to another class?
Yes. Well, what we were thinking is he would actually be in level 2. So a great portion of his day he would be spent with me, general education classes. But then maybe during English and then maybe a few times during math, just to help him really give him that extra support, he would be with the special educator in that separate resource room.
Okay,
Yeah.
I really like that idea.
Okay, great.
Are there any other areas that we're concerned about for academics? It kind of tends to be the language.
Yes, it does tend to be language, and then if you would also take a look at some of his math, he's having trouble recalling multiplication tables that he was able to do prior the injury, which is definitely kind of a thing we're really worried about.
Right.
And then task initiation is a problem. Sometimes when I give him a math test, it'll take him even 40 minutes to get started.
Okay.
And then even when I receive the math test back, sometimes there's random numbers, and you can just tell that it wasn't
A
complete.
struggle to complete. Okay.
So does he need the extra support for math too, or?
Yeah, so we're kind of thinking for math and then the language in English would be good for him to come to my classroom so I can give him the extra support he needs, and then eventually when he gets back to his levels from pre-injury, then he can go back to the general education classroom when he's competent.
How long do you think he needs the English classes? Does he need every day? Does he need few days in a week? Or how long will be the duration for the English? And I also would love to know how long and how many days do you need for the maths?
I think English is, because of the test scores being in the 20 percentile-ish and 30-ish, that should be every day. We try to cover that in the resource room. Math, would you feel more comfortable if he was in the general education classroom for half the time, or what were you kind of thinking with that process?
I was thinking, I would like to suggest that for English, every day is a very, very good idea. I really support that.
I support
Every
that
day
as well.
for 20 minutes, I think that will be great.
Yeah.
So he won't feel that he's totally out of the class.
Right.
So he'll understand the importance. And for math, as he is not lagging too much behind like English, so 3 days a week and 20 minutes for math too. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's great.
Yeah, that's very doable.
So 3 days a week for maths
Yep.
and English every day, 20 minutes. 20
Yeah.
minutes. Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
We said, just to confirm, we said every day for English, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And 20 minutes.
Perfect.
I do think too, building up his English scores and everything too will just assist in math as well, just being able to have a conversation about
Mm-hmm.
working out math problems and stuff too. So that might progress even more quickly than we think. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now we might want to go over some functional performance. I know that there's been some classroom behaviors that you wanted to touch on.
Yes. So before Jai was able to write, complex sentences that contain, 10 or more words, and now I've noticed that when I, take their journals and I read over them, he now expresses his thoughts in more short and choppy sentences. So he's definitely regressed back. So that's another really big area of concern.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So that's something that we would address again with the resource room. And I've noticed that his behavior, he kind of has struggles with maintaining behavior and maintaining his listening skills and stuff like that. He'll get distracted and kind of distract other peers as well.
Did you guys notice anything like he's not that social with his peers? Did you guys notice anything like that too?
I think he's having trouble relating to his peers now after his accident. I know you had mentioned one time when he laid in front of the classroom so nobody could get inside of the classroom or out of the classroom. So we're just seeing some behavioral issues with that.
yeah, I've had a couple opportunities to work with him on those days when sometimes he just needs a break. Sometimes I'll just walk by and pull him out and it's definitely, it's a behavior thing. He's kind of mentioned a couple times too that, I don't really want to work on this or it's just too hard. So I think getting him back into the same level as his peers is something that will encourage him
I agree.
more.
Yes.
I agree. We see something very similar when he's in gym class, when the kids are a little more active in a less formal environment. He's still, you could tell he's not quite as engaged as he was previously. And I think, like we all mentioned before, once he gets back to his normal levels or his recurring levels, I think he'll be just fine. I think he'll fall right back into suit with the rest of the children.
Yes. For this, I would like to point out that maybe seeing outside counseling or the school psychologist to follow up on some of his feelings he has. I know he mentioned that
He very frequently shows worries.
Yeah.
And I think he definitely understands that he's different now cognitively where he was before. And I think he's frustrated, because he used to write so much better and, you can just tell he gets upset at himself. He doesn't understand anything right away and just has a lot of frustration that I think is definitely getting pent up.
I also noticed that.
Yeah,
so we can give you information for the school psychologist if that's something you'd be interested. I think.
Oh, I
Would
would.
be very
That's a
beneficial.
really good idea.
Okay.
I would love to do that.
excellent.
Let me I have a piece of paper here that goes over that. So here you go.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Perfect. Excellent. We can forward information. All right, moving on to the next step here. Do we have any more concerns achievement-wise in the classroom? Anything else we'd like to bring forth?
We touched most of it. I think.
Ms. Gray, do you have any concerns of your own you'd like to voice for move on to the next part of this meeting?
No.
No?
Do
Okay.
you have any
Everything
questions
is-
about what we've gone over?
No,
or?
you guys touched on everything. Thank
Okay,
you.
Perfect.
awesome.
All right, well, so I believe at that point we'll move on to the IEP now, continue our yearly eval, and we'll just start going through the list. And I know most of us know Jaya, so since the last time we met, he hasn't been diagnosed with any autism spectrum disorder or anything, right? No deaf blindness, hard of hearing, developmental cognitive display. A little bit?
No.
No? Oh, none of that. Sorry. I was like, oh, sorry. Developmental delay.
No.
Okay. Emotional behavioral disorders. Not a disorder. We
No.
just have some behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. Other health disabilities. No. Physically impaired. No.
No.
Severely multiply impaired. No.
No.
No learning disability.
No.
No speech language impairments. We do have a traumatic brain injury since last time.
Yes.
Okay. Visually impaired. No. Interpreter required. No.
No.
And interpreter required for due process. No.
No.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
This looks like a good thing. Like he only have one.
Yes. He's and it's something that I've done a little research on my own too, and it's very likely that he'll return back to his normal levels. Kids are very good at rebounding from
Thank
certain
you for your
situations.
nice supporting words.
It's my pleasure. Jai is a great kid. I love having him in class. Okay. When and how will student progress toward the annual goals being reported to the parents? So how would you prefer that we deliver you progress reports for Jaya's updates?
I would love to have them in my email,
Your
so
email?
I
Okay.
can save them and I can go through them, print them whenever I want, the way I want.
Okay.
If that's fine with you
Yes.
all.
Yeah,
Yep,
that
that
is
works
perfect.
wonderful. Technology's very helpful with that. How often were you looking to get these progress reports?
I would love to have them every 4 months.
Every 4 months? Okay.
We can do that.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Every 4 months. Okay. All right, so we should be covered there. Any questions on progress reporting?
Will there be, beside his marks, will there be the section where you guys will put your comments, like what do you think, why
Oh, yes.
he's improving, why
Yeah.
he's not? Okay,
Mhm.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Just a little elaboration for each of his scores.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to understand the percentiles and
Yeah.
scores
Yeah.
and stuff, so we can
Mhm.
definitely break that down for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else want to bring anything up about progress reporting? We could move on to the next step.
I think that's great. I think we're good. Yeah.
All right, this is one that I wanted to bring up extensively. Extended school year. Are extended school year services required for this student? Yes, no, or more data needed? How do you feel about that?
I don't think Jaya needs an extended school year. I feel like if he's not getting 0 or 1 or 2, he's getting like, because he was an excellent student, now he is average or a little below average student. So he's not like kind of failing, so he still has chance to recover and get a better grade than what he's getting now, maybe not excellent. So I don't think he needs an extended school year, but it depends on the teacher, what you guys feel that too.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. I feel like maybe extended school year might be a good option for him, just because during the school year we'll try to, as best as we can, to get him to present level, but he might need that extra help in the summer to stay at that level, because
Summer slide.
yep, summer
Yeah.
slide is a big issue with students that we find, and since we don't want him to summer slide back a little bit and then get frustrated again, because even though it wasn't a result of his injury, it was just a result of the summer slide.
You know, I think I agree with you.
Okay.
I have heard from other parents too that summer slide puts them behind.
Mm-hmm.
So where Jaya is right now, if he goes more behind, it'll become more bad.
Yeah.
So it's better if he continues. So I would like him to go for
Okay.
extended
Yeah.
school year.
Perfect. So we'll make that change. We'll go to yes for extended school year. All right. So since we're going to go to the extended school year, we need to discuss the services that will be provided for him during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and open the field to you guys. Whatever you think would be the correct services for that. You guys have any recommendations we'd like, or any concerns from you? Maybe you have a certain time frame or amount of time you'd like for him to spend in the school or not in the school during the day.
I think instead of 5 days a week, it will be better for me. And as it's summer, if he goes 4 days a week and gets 3 days weekend instead of regular 2 days weekend, he
Yeah.
will feel better because most of his friends are not going to school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's very true.
Yeah, I agree with that. So with 4 days per week during the summer school sessions, and what kind of sessions do you guys recommend for him during that time?
I think English will be a big one, just to make sure that we're keeping up with all of the things that we talked about, or that we're teaching him during the school year. It'll be good to keep those services up. And then also with math. And then, yeah, I think those were the main aspects of the school year that we want to like keep up with. And then maybe some just general education, just so he can stay up with that, so that doesn't fall behind.
And I was thinking to almost, give him a break, with all this focus on English and math, we can also throw in some social studies or science, just give him a break in between, so much of the English and so much of the math, so he doesn't get burnt out.
I think it's a good opportunity too for real life application as well. So if there's field trip opportunities or opportunities to maybe work on having a conversation or giving a mini presentation, things like that, where he can still work on his English, but it's like in a new and unique setting that he might not get during the school year.
I think
Would-
physical education would be a good aspect
that
of
was
it.
my
Yeah, I
next
was
question,
just
if
about
you'd be
to say
interested in
that. I'll be very interested in that. And he also talks about Dr.
Shepherd.
Talking about me, is he? I hope nothing but good things. All right, so we will write in there. We're gonna have 4 days a week. Do we want to put an hour limit or a time limit to put him in the school during the day? I know it is summer. I don't know if we want to keep him there during a regular school day hour, or maybe a half
A
day.
lot of times we can offer half day.
Yep. I was
So they'd
thinking
come home by
around
lunchtime.
It
8
depends on
to
the
noon.
teacher.
Yeah.
8 to noon. Would that be adequate for you?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
We can make sure there's adequate transportation as well if that's something that
Yes,
you're concerned
this-
about.
As I'm a working mom,
Mhm.
and so I was thinking it'll be easy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And how often was he? Would you have a bus pick him up? Would that be the best for you? Because you
Yes,
said
bus picking him up and dropping
and dropping him off. Okay. Okay. Pick up from home, and we have all your address and information.
Yeah, if you guys want, I can give you my address again.
Sure.
I was gonna say we have it right here. We have you down as, I mean, if it's changed, we have you at 5678 Seattle Circle, Seattle, Washington, zip code 98101.
Perfect.
Perfect. Just wanted to make sure we had, and just to, oh, I dropped the pen. Yeah. Very athletic gym teacher.
Hey, we got your pen.
More
It's
than
okay.
needed.
And just to confirm before we move on, I want to make sure we touch on this. Your current primary phone number is 911-174-8892.
Awesome.
Perfect. And your mobile phone is 119-471-2988.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So I
Alright.
don't need to give you any more
And
information.
we also have you at mgraysaveslives@yahoo.com as your email.
Yes.
Correct? Excellent. Just want to make sure we have all our bases covered there for
Oh,
communication.
well, that's great. That's awesome of you.
On top of it.
That's why my
Yes.
son talks about him all
Oh,
the time.
I hire the best teachers.
Yeah.
I would like to go back and discuss one thing. We are speaking English, so I would assume that Jai's primary home language is English as well?
Yes.
English? Okay. That is his primary as well as the home's primary language?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Wonderful.
No, he speaks many languages. But
He does?
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Wow.
Okay. So, let's go on here. Next we have present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. The present levels of the academic achievement and functional performance under PLAP is an integrated summary of data from all sources, including the parents. So, for K through 12 students, describe how the disability affects a child's involvement and progress in the general education.
As far as I'm concerned and got the information from the doctor, my son Jaya doesn't have any disabilities.
Okay.
Mhm.
Although he does have a traumatic brain injury, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we have established that he definitely needs help in the English and mathematics area,
Okay.
as he's lost significant percentile points in both.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say social interactions as well with his
Mhm.
peers is
Yes.
something that
That's
has
another
been
big one.
affected. And that's a lot of observation too. Sometimes he's not verbally speaking those things, but like he was laying in front of the door
Blocking his classes,
Yeah.
yes.
and his different participation in Phi Ed class too. So
And just the participation during the standardized testing, I noticed he would again get frustrated and just refuse to go on.
yes, yeah.
Okay. So just so that we're all clear, we have no disabilities do have presence of a traumatic brain injury. Jai is going to need extra assistance with the English and math subjects primarily with an influence on improving his social interactions since the accident, correct?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Okay. Anything else that we have concerns about that?
No.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about some goals we have for Jai coming up here.
All right.
So let's see here. Miss Yang, do you want to go ahead and begin?
Yes, for me, I guess I was thinking maybe a few months or so, in a special education resource room, at least part of the time, you know, if we implement that, I would like to actually see his scores in his math and his English primarily raised to the point where they were before the injury. So I was thinking we can make a goal, maybe a half year, if that's okay with you.
I was just about to say that I agree, half year, and then we'll see where he is, and then we can go through from there.
Yep.
So to be specific, within that 6 months, we want to try and get him above his pre.
No, I want him to be at least matching.
At least matching his pre-injury.
Yes,
Okay.
his matching pre-injury.
So
Okay.
we would be looking for, we can just kind of average about 85th percentile and above in
Yes.
those categories of
The only
reading
thing
composite.
I'm kind of concerned about is his levels drop more than 50%, and that might be hard to get up in 6 months.
Even not, I was thinking even if he doesn't go up to 80%, if he's close to 80, like 70%, I would like to accept that he's progressing
Okay.
a lot.
Do you think maybe a year's span, the whole entire school year, since we are at the beginning of the school year, just having him at academic level, percentile would work better, or would you like?
I want to play by ear, so I want to go with 6 months and
Okay.
see how it goes.
Okay. And I'm gonna also agree here and think that maybe that getting back up to matching goals may be a little bit difficult. I was gonna suggest maybe we go and what is his gap now, about 50 percentile points from his previous?
Yeah, 50.
What if we said we could maybe cut that in half, maybe 25 to 30
Mhm.
percent of that back? Maybe not the entire way, but I mean if we can get a little above half of that.
Yes.
Okay. So so what is he currently at?
Well, they vary. So
Okay.
there's a bunch of different percentages. So do we want to do like just within 20 percentile of his March 2003
I really think we
test
should
scores?
focus on the broad written one specifically
Okay.
because he drops 59 percentile points.
So let's
Yeah.
take that our first goal. If we have a big drop there, let's go ahead and utilize that as our first goal.
Yep.
So
broad
for the
written
next 6
language.
months, we want Jaya to be, and he's currently at
So
what?
move from
20.
20th percentile.
And previously he was at 89,
79.
79. Oh wow, he's dropped one. Okay.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and say we can cut that at half, get him to
So 40
put the 40th percentile,
Yeah.
40 to 50th
45.
percentile,
between those two.
between
Yeah.
the 40.
Okay.
Okay.
Gives a little wiggle room
To be at the 40 to 50th percentile
in broad written language.
in broad written language. Okay, excellent. Okay, and that is our first goal. Do we have another goal we'd like to set?
The reading composite, he went from 98 to 53.
Okay, that might be another good one to attack
Yeah,
there.
that might be another good one to make.
So what do we have? What would be about a halfway point between the 53 and
Probably
98?
70.
About so get him within the 70 to 75th percentile.
Yeah.
That seem about fair. 70 to 75th percentile. Okay. And do we also do it in the next 6 months as well?
Yes.
Okay,
I think
perfect.
that's a very good
Excellent.
one.
You'll have to excuse my speed of writing. You know, as a PE teacher, I don't do much writing. A lot of yelling, a lot of whistling out there in class.
Yeah, he talks about your whistle all the time.
Yeah, the Dr. Shepard whistle is very famous.
Yeah. Sometimes he calls you, I think, McDreamy too.
McDreamy, yeah, I've heard that. You know, I've heard that thrown around class once in a while, and I mean, it is very flattering. But at the same time, this is a school setting, and I need to make sure that the children are acting
Yeah.
appropriately.
I would also like you to call McDreamy.
Mr. Shepard, we may have to have a discussion after this.
Ms. Bailey, I would like to plead the fifth. Okay, we want him in the next 6 months to be in the 70 to 75th percentile in, what was it, the reading composite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Reading composite score of the Kaufman Test of Educational Achievement.
And could you spell the Kaufman for me?
You can abbreviate it as K-TEA.
K-T-E-A. Perfect. Okay.
What's
Excellent.
that? Kaufman?
Yeah, so that's one of the tests that we applied to or gave to Jaya on his reading composite back in 2003 and then again here in 2004.
Oh.
Yep, so it's
now I
another
know.
standardized test.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we do
Thank
a lot
you for
of
letting
those.
me know.
Oh yeah.
I
of
have
course.
I had no idea about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's we also gave him the Woodcock-Johnson test of achievement and then the Iowa test of basic skills composite. So those are all kind of tests that we're kind of looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all standardized tests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can see that I made a small mistake here in my note taking in the IEP. I just did not use the two boxes together. I jammed it all into one box.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Everybody
We
makes
can-
mistakes.
Everybody
We'll
makes
edit and
mistakes.
type this.
Yeah.
So it will be
We're
well
gonna
written
probably type it.
before we
Yep, I agree.
send it out.
Okay.
So you guys are gonna email me this, and then I will check and sign, and we will
Yep.
come to an agreement, right?
Yes. Yep, sounds great. Okay.
I would like to add one more goal for
Yeah.
mathematics.
Mhm. Right.
I would like to add another
Mathematics goal?
goal.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So his mathematics, again, for the percentile, before was 73, and then after it was 33.
Okay.
So let's say that we get his mathematics by 6 months to 45 to 50. Does that sound okay?
That sounds okay.
Okay, sounds great.
I think another goal that we might need to touch on is his social interactions. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
also playing
Yes.
a big role and something that we had mentioned
Which
earlier.
test is this for the math? Do we have a
This is
specific name?
Woodcock Johnson.
Okay. Test scores to the and what percentile did we want in that?
45 to 50 range.
45 to 50th percentile.
Mhm.
Okay. Within 6 months, we want Jai to improve his test scores 40, 50 percentile in the Woodcock Johnson test. Is there an
Yes.
abbreviation for that?
Yes, we have WJ
Mm-hmm.
and then dash Roman numeral for 3, I believe.
Good enough for me.
Yup,
Okay.
You know,
I'm educated.
go with the system.
And just to let you know that my son is in the house, but with the babysitter. But this is the time usually I spend time with him. So I want. Do you guys know how long will the meeting go?
We're getting into the goals, so we shouldn't have too much further to go.
Yeah, we should be able to keep moving through this pretty swiftly so we can get home and make sure we can all go and see our families and see Jai, of
Sorry,
course.
ma'am. I know, I have a baby at home too.
Yeah. It's
For
Jaya's supper eating time is coming, so I need to make something.
okay,
And he only eats if I make the meals. So.
of course.
And pizza.
Okay, so transition services we don't have to discuss because Jai is clearly not in the transition age, so we're good there.
Yep, so we'll go over that again when he hits age 14, and then we'll implement a plan in 16.
Oh,
16.
age, so he needs to be age 14 to have that transition plan.
Yep, 14 is the golden age.
The golden age. Okay.
Yeah, I always knew 21 is the golden age.
Nope,
No,
14.
It's 14.
14.
And then we have a plan at 16.
Yep, plan at 16.
Okay, so let's move on next here. We want to the explanation of the extent, if any, to which the student will not participate with non-disabled students in the regular classroom and other activities. So how much time will we expect Jai to be spending in the gen ed room versus the special ed room?
20 minutes for English, 20 minutes for maths, so 40 minutes.
So 40 minutes a day in the special ed classroom, the rest of the day he'll be in the gen ed
But I
classroom?
thought we actually discussed that math was only
Only 1 to week.
Yep,
Yeah.
2 to.
No,
3
math
days
we
a week.
discussed
3 days a
week. Yes.
Okay,
So Monday,
I see.
Wednesday.
how long is our school day? How many hours?
Well, we usually, school starts at about 7:50 and we're out at about 2:30, right, Miss Bailey? Is that about right?
Yes, that's
I got-
correct.
The bus picks him up at 7, and then later the bus drops him off at 3:30. So I guess the school is from 8 to 2:30.
Yep, right about 8 to 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
So we can say, so Jaya, so 5 days a week he will have English, right? So he'll have at least 20 minutes 5 days a week, and then 3 of those days he'll also have math for an additional 20 minutes.
Yes.
So we're looking at 5 days, or during Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he will have 20 minutes.
So 60 minutes of math. A week.
Oh, 60 minutes a
Total.
week.
Total.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 days a week for math and 5 days for English.
So
So,
100 for English.
100 for
Okay.
English, 100 minutes for English,
Mhm.
and
60.
60 minutes for maths.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Mhm.
simple.
And the rest of his time will be in a general education classroom with his peers.
Mhm. And that extending to our physical education,
Yeah.
if the class ever goes to
Mhm.
music or the library, those would be along with the gen ed class as well.
Oh,
Yep.
good point.
Okay, and then Jai will also participate. And what was that? What did we say? It was how many minutes of English?
Oh, English 100 minutes.
100 minutes. Okay,
Maths 60 minutes.
correct.
My son talks about you all the time.
What a ham.
We love having him in our classes.
Okay, so we have, let's see here, state assessments for English language proficiency. So we have grades K through 12, so that will include Jaya. So he will participate in the K2 reading and writing checklist based on your teacher observations. Will he participate in that?
Yes.
Yes?
He
Okay.
will. And that will
Okay.
give us a good understanding of where he's at and how he's progressing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Test of emerging academic English, the TEAE, reading and writing without accommodations.
Yeah.
I think as of right now, that will be fine.
Okay.
His state assessments should all be normal
Okay.
without any accommodations. Or
So he will not have it with accommodations. He'll have it without accommodations. Okay.
Correct.
Excellent.
Are you
For-
okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Listening and speaking. So the student will participate in Minnesota Student Oral Language Observation Matrix.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, reading for, this is grade 3, 4, 5. So this actually will not include Jaya because Jaya is in the second grade.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
We'll definitely come back to that again at our next
Mhm.
annual
Mhm.
meeting.
Yeah, definitely.
This will not include Jaya. Okay. Moving on to our next topic here, we have this is not him still, math, so this will be grades 3, 4, 5. He will not participate in the math. He will also not participate in the science because he is in the second grade. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have here? This is all embedded math, these are the same test. Okay, so move on to basic skills test. Right, because Jai will not be participating in any of these ones?
Correct. Not
Correct.
until he's in third grade, so we'll
Right.
touch those at the next meeting.
Exactly. Okay. Okay, so this is basic skills test for students who enter grade 8. Okay. Sure will not
Not
need
quite
that.
there yet.
Nope.
Soon enough. Soon
Mhm.
enough.
And the MCA modified or MTAS, will Jai be participating in the MTAS? I don't. Is he?
What is
Yes.
that?
I'll fulfill graduation requirements and no, this is also past Jai's age requirement. This is
Yeah.
grade 10.
Silly us.
You know, you read these things all day long and
I
sometimes just
know,
forget where you left
gosh.
off.
The numbers all
I
merge
was
together.
thinking I never heard that because my son is not
I
ready for
know.
that.
Craziness. It'll come before you know it.
Okay, grade 10, district-wide assessment. This is in this grade, he's not in 10th grade. Okay, if this box is checked, your child's academic achievement will be assessed by you. Actually, I should read this directly to you. So, this is our parental notification of alternate assessments. If this box is checked, your child's academic achievement will be assessed using modified academic achievement standards or alternate academic and achievement standards, as indicated above on state or district-wide assessments. Your child's academic proficiency must always be based on the academic content standards for his or her grade level. And we're not going to check that box because we said Jaya does not need to take those tests of modifications, correct?
Yes.
Everyone agrees with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, well, that will,
We
go ahead.
actually, so can we go back to the goals and objectives?
Yes.
I think we need to hit a few more areas.
okay,
And I think we should also discuss, just so you know, Ms. Gray, some services that will be provided for your student
Mhm.
while still in the general education classroom.
Mhm.
So some of these, I know you had some ideas for.
Yeah, we're kind of gonna touch on, we just talked about a, level 2, classroom setting, so
Yep.
it's majority gen ed, part-time in the
Yes,
sped
yep.
classroom. And we also talked about extended school year, and we thought that that was gonna be a beneficial for Jaya. but a couple different things about his like specific classroom, any environmental considerations. We didn't say that he would need any accommodations for the testing, modifications for any of that. So I didn't know if we wanted to bring up anything that we could do in the classroom to make that, to add anything. I don't know, that would be, if you had any ideas.
I think in my classroom, I think what I'm really gonna try to do is maybe start developing a contract with him, you know, because now he's in second grade. I think he kind of realizes that his behavior does need a little bit of help, and maybe just to improve like task initiation, you know, maybe consider use of a self-monitoring strategy for paying attention, because I know he's been struggling with that as well, and just things like that. So maybe a reward system or some kind of chart just to keep him in check. So, you know, I don't have to always be around him to remind him.
Yeah, and then in my classroom, especially for math, because he's just getting more frustrated with it and just shuts down when he gets math in front of him, just kind of work on developing skills so he gets like more self-confidence with that will be very important in my classroom. And then providing him with lots of feedback of the positive things Jaya does, because he does so much positive things in our classrooms. And it's important that we focus on that because of his frustration. So he doesn't feel like we're just trying to say that he's not a good student or anything like that, because he is a great student. We want to focus on all those positive too, and also being specific in praise will help him understand the stuff that is positive, and that that will help him a lot too, I feel like.
A lot of these strategies too, we can provide materials for you to be able to do the same at home. Maybe if his behavioral chart or his self-monitoring really works in our classroom. If he's struggling at home at different times, we can always educate you and him about how to do it in the home setting as well.
That will be great.
Are there any other services that you were kind of thinking might be helpful in the general education classroom? Because I'm sure you work with him at home on different things, and you might have some insight on that.
No, but my question is, when are we gonna start all these?
That is a great question.
Well, today's our IEP meeting, which is Monday, the 24th, and moving on from there, we do want to make sure we get a nice formal copy of this typed up and printed out. So, I mean, I think if we can get this IEP to you before the beginning of next week, I would say, and then we can start implementing services by the 31st of October. Would that sound fair to you?
Good.
31st of October?
So 1 week.
Okay. Excellent. So we'll have 1 week to get that. We'll make sure we get this all typed up and neat and tidy for you to get your signature and stuff. We only have a couple more things to go over, and then we can make sure you get home to get Jaya some supper. We do need to fill out the IEP attendance sheet so that everyone knows, or we all know who is here. If you want to just start, Ms. Bailey, you want to start with that? We can just move around. I do want to reiterate one more time. I'm not very concerned with Jaya's motor abilities in the Phi Ed department, so I'm going to just keep trying to ease him back into the regular gen ed class as much as possible. If there are any issues at home with his stitches or anything, or they were to come loose, if you could just forward me an email so that I know to keep an eye on that if you were to be running around or get some blood dripping or something like that. He doesn't have any blood disease or anything going on, right?
No, he
concerned about?
doesn't.
Excellent.
No.
Perfect.
Yes.
Though his dad was a douchebag, so I don't know whether he got
Well,
thing from his dad. So that's
at that rate, I mean, there's a possibility, but probably not. I would say more likely than not, that's not going to affect him. I mean, he seems like a pretty stellar athlete. I've never met a second grader who can do
yeah, he got it from me.
Yes. I do what I can to try and keep these kids
Like
in
I
line.
said, we hire really great teachers.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. I appreciate that.
Yeah, his dad never moved from one spot to another spot. Fat grumpy dad.
Oh goodness.
Oh.
Have you been comfortable with everything we've done today?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm
And you're
very
okay with the
comfortable.
notes you've taken?
Yes.
Perfect.
And like you said, you have all of our contact information. We exchanged that at the beginning of the meeting. So if
And
you
I
have any
will
questions.
and I will also email you I have all of your email addresses, so I will email you the notes that I have taken.
Okay, perfect. That'll be
Sounds
very
great.
helpful. What are you gonna make Jaya for supper tonight?
I think I'll just stop at Saja's and get pizza?
Pizza is very good.
Zaza's
That sounds
is
good.
very
I might go
delicious.
there tonight too.
I could
Pizza.
definitely enjoy a
Charge
couple of cold
your
pieces of pizza at Zaza's
batteries.
right now. All right, so we have any more questions we'd like to go ahead and tie together before we...
Or any lasting concerns of yours that we really haven't answered, or anything that's still bothering you?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much. I'll look forward to receive
I can take
the
that sheet from you there. Perfect.
meeting information from you.
Excellent, sounds great, and have a good evening, everybody drive safe, and we'll see you guys in about a year.
Thank
Zaza's.
you.
Or at Zaza's.